guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to tackle about a question that most people who have braces or orthodontic treatment eventually face. And that is, should you get TADs? TADs or temporary anchorage devices can sound intimidating. The thought of having mini screws placed into your mouth might make you nervous, right? But here's the thing, TADs can make a total game changer for your orthodontic results. So, in this video, I'm going to give you the ultimate guide to make a confident decision. And by the end of this video, you'll know what TADs actually are, why the orthodontists recommend them, the benefits and the disadvantages you need to weigh, the myths versus reality, and most importantly, whether TADs are the right choice for you. Also, watch till the end of this video because I'm going to share my personal experience of having them. So, if you've been feeling torn, stick around because this guide is going to clear everything up. So, let's start with the basics. What are TADs? TADs, or temporary anchorage devices, are small titanium screws that your orthodontist place in your jawbone. Don't worry, they're tiny and usually they're just few millimeter in size. Think of them as mini anchors that give your braces or aligners something extra to hold on to. So why does this matter? Sometimes the teeth needs to move a certain way that the braces alone cannot handle efficiently. Without TADs, certain movements would extremely be difficult, slow, or even impossible. In other words, TADs aren't there forever, they're just temporary. So once your orthodontist is done with the movement, they come right out. So the next question is, why do orthodontists recommend TADs in the first place? So here are just few of the common reasons why they recommend them. One is severe crowding, when teeth are overlapping too much. Second is the open bite or deep bite, because TADs can help adjust in vertical movements. Third is the closing of gaps. This is very efficient if you're trying to pull teeth to spaces where a normal anchorage isn't enough. This is the same as with my case because I had my premolars extracted, and so there are gaps in between my teeth. And so I have two TADs here at the upper jaw, and up until now, they're still there and they're making and being efficient in moving my teeth. Fourth is the molar intrusion or extrusion. So this helps move the stubborn back teeth up or down. The last one and the fifth one is speeding up treatment. So sometimes TADs makes things faster and more predictable. Given all of this, your orthodontist isn't just suggesting them randomly. They're usually recommended because other options are limited or less effective. Alright, so moving on, what are the benefits of having them? Number one is precise movement. So TADs let your orthodontist move your teeth exactly where they need to go. Also, based on my experience, TADs help not to unintentionally move the neighboring teeth whenever there is a certain teeth that they have to move. Second is faster treatment time. So in many cases, patients finish their treatment earlier compared to not having TADs. Next, it avoids bigger procedures. So sometimes TADs can prevent the need for jaw surgeries or even extractions. Fourth is they're temporary. So unlike implants, they come out when they're no longer needed. And lastly, they expand possibilities. So without TADs, there are certain bite problems that cannot be corrected fully. If your goal is to get the best possible results, then TADs can make that possible. So for the disadvantages and concerns, of course, it's not all just sunshines and rainbows. So these are just some of the few downsides of having them. Number one is discomfort. So I'm gonna share with you guys in my experience when the TADs was being installed, and after the installation, right after the installation, or even after the days, I didn't feel any pain. The only time that I felt a discomfort was the time that my TADs were starting to hit my inner cheeks. And that is the reason why I have to use the ortho wax to cover the sharp edge of the TADs. So my inner cheeks or my mouth isn't used to having the TADs there. But after eventually weeks or months, my cheeks got used to having them, and so I don't have to use the ortho wax. So if you're gonna ask me if it was painful, yes, it was painful, but only for a few weeks because the TADs were hitting my cheeks. But in general, while the installation and after the installation of the TADs, there was no pain at all. Second is the anxiety factor. So let's be honest, given this idea of having screws installed into your jawbone, this is kind of freaks people out. And actually, the first time that I heard about TADs, it kind of scared me off because just imagining how my orthodontist have to drill and screw those mini screws into my jawbone is quite weird. But also at the same time, when she was doing it, there's no pain, but you know the feeling that there is some sort of a tension or pressure that you can actually feel, although there's no pain. You know that there's something going on and that the screws are already deep into your jawbone. Third is the maintenance. So you have to make sure that the area is clean to avoid any irritation. Also, when you brush your teeth, you have to make sure that you don't hit the tads because most of the time when you continuously hit them, this will loosen up the tads and you have to reinstall them. And lastly, the cost. So this is going to be an additional expense because it is not included in your orthodontic treatment. Given all of these disadvantages, the key is to just balance this concern against the potential benefits. So, what about the myths versus reality of having these tats? One of the few myths is number one, they're super painful. Again, guys, they're not painful unless they're loosened. Because once they're loosened in your jawbone, there's a tendency that they move around, and that's what makes it painful. So, you have to go to your orthodontist and to have it reinstalled. Also, the only time that you might feel pain is when your tads are hitting your inner cheeks. And so you have to have your ortho wax to cover them. Next myth is it's permanent. Nope, they're not. And there's a reason why they're called temporary. They are called temporary anchorage because they are temporary. Another myth is they'll damage my teeth. Nope, they're not gonna damage your teeth because TADs are designed to avoid the roots. They don't harm the teeth, they are placed in between your teeth. Lastly, they're only for extreme cases. Not true because TADs are sometimes used in moderate cases. Alright, so how do you actually decide if you indeed need TADs? So here are just some of the few guides I'm gonna tell you. Ask yourself these questions. One is, what are my orthodontic goals? Do I want perfection or just improvement? Am I afraid of getting temporary screw or of not getting the possible best results? What are the long term consequences if I say no? Discuss this openly with your orthodontist because sometimes the difference between okay results and amazing results is simply just saying yes to having TADs. So, as I've said at the start of this video, I'm going to share my personal experience of having the TADs. So, personally, having TADs is one of the great and best decisions that I had because without the TADs, I don't know how much or how long will my braces take. Because if you've watched my braces updates, it already took me years having these braces, and the case with my orthodontic treatment is a little bit challenging compared to the normal one. One of the main reasons why I need to have the TADs is when you have braces, usually at the back they have this molar ring, and so your molar teeth serve as like an anchor when your orthodontist is trying to push or pull your teeth in a certain direction. Now, in my case, what happened was since my molar teeth at the back didn't serve as a strong anchor to my teeth at the front, what happened was my teeth, the molar, tilted. And so instead of having the teeth to push or pull the teeth backwards, it was the molar that was actually moving. And so my orthodontist decided that maybe we need to use the TADs to serve as a strong anchor instead of the molar at the back. Also, when talking about the maintenance of the TADs, all I can say is just make sure that when you're brushing your teeth, you're not hitting them. Because in my case, I think I hit them several times, and that is the reason why I have to go to my orthodontist and have it reinstalled because it loosened up. And again, that was the only time that I felt pain because the screw wasn't tight, and so it was reinstalled, I guess, twice. So that's the only thing that I can say when it comes to the maintenance of your TADs. To wrap this up, should you get TADs? Well, at the end of the day, it's your decision. But here's the bottom line. If your orthodontist recommends them, it's usually because they want to give you the best possible outcome. Also, when you try to look at the benefits, it actually outweighs the downsides. And also, they are temporary. This small step can actually give a big impact to your final smile. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like this video. And if you want more braces tips and updates, you might want to subscribe to the channel. Also, share this with someone you know that is considering to get your TADs. And let me know in the comments below if you're going to get the TADs or are you still scared of having them. If you want to deep dive more on braces tips, you can watch this video. And if you want to watch my previous updates on my braces, then you can watch this video. Again, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you on my next videos.